What's up, YouTube? It's T-Buddy. Welcome to week 3 of the college football predictions. I wasn't able to do week 2. I actually got caught up with work and everything, so I wasn't able to do week 2. But I did get a result from week 1 from Elijah. Thanks, Elijah, for doing that for me. I went 17-3, if I recall. So I did pretty damn well with the predictions this week or not this week, the last uh, 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna go ahead and get into this week. No games on Thursday nor Friday, as it's actually Friday at 12:32. As you see me recording this. If you see me looking down, I'm using a monitor from a friend of mine. Uh, I'm seeing how it looks. Everything looks good so far. So hopefully I'm able to do this a lot more. The only reason I'm looking down is because I actually have my laptop on a coffee table, and the cord's too small. So I'm gonna have to figure out that aspect, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and get into it with the first matchup of the week in the AP Top 25. It is Nebraska traveling to Oklahoma. These two teams have not met since Nebraska left the Big 12, I believe. And I'm actually gonna use Wikipedia a lot when it comes to this. The last meeting between these two teams was 2010 in Arlington. So this was the Big 12 title game, actually. That's uh yeah. The last meeting was the Big 12 title game because Lincoln and then Norman or Arlington, Texas, Lincoln, Nebraska, and then Norman. So 11 years later, these two teams officially meet up again. I didn't. I Let me look at some of Oklahoma's games. Uh, Oklahoma. Oh God, Oklahoma hasn't been challenged yet. Nebraska is going to be their first challenge of the season. The only other challenge I actually see out of the Big 12 for Oklahoma is that second to last week of the season against the Iowa State Cyclones, which that we'll have to get to when that comes around. But going back to the actual game itself, Oklahoma is favored by 22.5. I watched Nebraska's first game of the season against Illinois. Illinois was actually pretty damn good in that game. And then they basically played two teams that basically no one knew. So because of that, Illinois being a good team and Nebraska getting their first two wins off of teams who nobody knows, I'm picking Oklahoma in this matchup. I hate to say it. Actually, I would gladly saying that because I hate the hell out of Nebraska, me being an Iowa State fan, and I would root for Iowa in that matchup every day. I'm picking Nebraska to go 2-2 and Oklahoma to start the year off 3-0. Moving on down the line, we have New Mexico traveling to Texas A&M. New Mexico 2-0 and so is Texas A&M. I watched the little bit of the Colorado game. That was I don't know what to say about that. The little bit of the Colorado game, the Texas A&M barely showed up. And that was actually the first time that those two teams have faced off since they both left the Big 12, I believe. I'm going to take a look at this. Texas A&M. Yeah, the last time these two teams played was 2009. Was the last season these two teams were in the Big 12. Colorado won that meeting, but then I can't really say it was much. I can't actually. I'm gonna say it was a really good game. I just think Texas A&M actually underestimated the how good Colorado was going to be this year, and I think they uh misfired. So, oh, went back too far. So for that reason, I'm still gonna pick A&M in that in this. A&M is too good of a team. They're off to 2-0 start. I think they go to 3-0. And do they play Alabama this year? Hold on, I didn't see that. They do. They host them. If A&M can get a string of wins going, knock out Arkansas and then Mississippi State, that would be a really good win. If they can get down to Alabama and win that game. But we're not talking about that game. We're talking about the game against New Mexico, and I think New Mexico does falter, and I think Texas A&M does take that game. Next up, you have the Cincinnati Bearcats traveling to Indiana, taking on a really very struggling I would say struggling because they went to Iowa, got destroyed, and then they played Idaho and then won. Idaho's a FCS team now, as you guys all remember. I think it was back in 2015 they went down to FCS. So I believe I believe it was 2015 when they moved. Um, Indiana is going to be a team that's gonna be like they're spotty, but Cincinnati about ready to join the Big 12 here in a couple years. I think Cincinnati gets this win, but look out for the Indiana team to probably pull off the upset against number 8. Moving on down, you have West Virginia Tech traveling to West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers, a rivalry game, and not even a Big 12 game. Virginia Tech and West Virginia. I haven't seen these two teams played in forever. I don't even think these teams have played each other in a while. Let me take a look here. If you will move, West Virginia. Oh my god. Virginia Tech. I don't know how to spell. Virginia Tech has 3 wins on them. Yeah, Virginia Tech and West Virginia used to play against each other constantly when West Virginia was in the ACC. But since they moved to the Big 12, this matchup hasn't happened since 2017. So this game being in West Virginia, Morgantown, I think. No, I don't think. Well, I predicted West Virginia to beat North Carolina. I'm taking them against West Virginia this year. Against West Virginia. Moving on down, you got Coastal Carolina going to Buffalo to take on the Bulls. Or going up to Buffalo to take on the Bulls. Excuse me. I think Coastal's got this. Coastal dominated Kansas. I watched a little bit of that game. Wasn't much of a game to watch. So yeah, I'm picking Coastal Carolina in this one. Moving on down, you have the Michigan State Spartans traveling to number 24 to take on Miami. Miami coming off what the hell kind of performance that was against Alabama. I don't know. Michigan State. Excuse me? I don't know. Michigan State is one of those teams where they're iffy. Like they had the one good year where they made the college football playoff, and then nothing really transpired from that. So I'll move my microphone down really quick. Sorry about that. I don't know if it was loud for you guys. Like I said, I have no idea how Michigan State is gonna do, but it's hard to beat a ranked opponent in their own building unless you're also ranked. Why does it keep doing that? Oh, it's because this thing constantly keeps playing. That's why. Uh, I'm gonna take this. I'm actually no. I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm sticking with the ranked opponents. I'm picking Miami in this one. Moving on down, you have Northern Illinois traveling to Michigan, who's finally cracked the top 25. I think Michigan stays in the top 25 and they get the win against Northern Illinois. My game of the week I'm going to call is Purdue at Notre Dame. Oh, and here's the best part. Drew Brees is actually going to be calling that game since it's on NBC. I've seen Purdue pull off some major upsets. I think they're actually going to pull off another one. I'm going to predict Purdue over Notre Dame. I'm going to be wrong on that one. I know I'm going to. I know I'm going to be wrong 100%. But I honestly think that Notre Dame can. I think Purdue can actually pull this upset off. They've done it once before against Ohio State. Now they have to do it against the Irish. And I think they can. And I think they will. Moving on down, you have the number one ranked Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Florida Gators in the first conference matchup of the year. It's a 14.5 point favorite for the Tide. I don't know. Florida. Where's my mouse? There it is. There's my mouse. Beat FAU. Beat UCF. Alabama hasn't been tested yet. Honestly, I think this is going to be their first official test, and I don't think they're good. What? Why does it keep doing that? I got Florida in an upset. The good old battle of Georgia Tech and Clemson. I think I'm taking Clemson in this one. I think they can get back. I think they can get back on track after their. This is another conference matchup after Georgia Tech or after Clemson had that loss against Georgia. They turned around and got a big win. I think Clemson continues that winning streak. Georgia Tech comes to town at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, and Georgia Tech falls to Clemson big, calling it. Moving on down, you got the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, who started off 0-2, traveling to the Horseshoe, and number 9, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Who predicted Oregon to go into the shoe and beat Ohio State? I'm looking around. There's only one person here. I didn't even see that coming. I would have full on picked Ohio State to win that game last week. But like I said, I didn't do any predictions last week because one, there was already a conference game going on, which I would have picked Coastal in that game anyway. Two, never had the time to record. Now I got a little bit of time to do this. 13 minutes in. I'm hoping to get this done here real soon. Ohio State. I'm picking Ohio State in this one. There's no chance. Moving up, because there's one game that I missed for the 2:30 games. You have Kent State at Iowa. Iowa coming off what a performance game against the Cyclones, keeping the Cyhawk Trophy for the 6th straight year. Don't count the COVID year because that game never actually happened in 2020. So 6th year. Honestly, there was a lot wrong with Iowa in that game. They didn't even get on the scoreboard until the second quarter because Iowa State's defense that's so freaking good actually held them to no points in quarter one. Then their defense stopped playing. I'm pretty damn sure their defense continues to play. Iowa does not jump Iowa State. So keep that in mind. The only reason Iowa won is because they figured out Iowa State's defense really quickly. And that's what Kent State needs to bring. They need to keep the defense up, and they need to get the offense to counterattack. In order for Iowa to lose, I'm going to predict Iowa to win this game, but unfortunately, one of these games they are going to lose later on down. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be that Penn State game. It's gonna be that Penn State game. They will lose that game. Penn State's good. I will get to that. I will give my reason to as to why that comes around, but Iowa's not gonna go undefeated this year. I know they won't. So moving on down, we are past the 2:30 games. Now on to the 3 o'clock games. Georgia Southern and Arkansas. That one's kind of an easy decision to do. I'm picking Arkansas. Next SEC matchup: South Carolina traveling to Georgia. Now the last time this happened, Georgia got upset. They are the number 2 ranked team in the country. I'm gonna move my screen down so y'all can see me. They are the number 2 ranked team in the nation. South Carolina does not get the upset. I think Georgia I got real there for a minute, and then I'm like, no way. It happened once. It's not happening a second time. They are going to completely steamroll the South Carolina Gamecocks here. Moving on down. This game doesn't even have a doesn't even have a betting line. I don't even the Stony Brook travels to Eugene, Oregon to take on the 4th-ranked Oregon Ducks. Do I even need to predict this game? Actually, I'm going to, because this game, there's been a lot of upsets this year, and it surprises me. It's surprising me. There's been a lot of FCS opponents beating FBS opponents. I even think there was a Division II that defeated Division I opponent. Don't hold me to that. I did not check the Colorado State game. I'm pretty sure that Colorado State won that game. Don't hold me to that. But I honestly don't see Oregon losing this game. To be fair, who is Stony Brook? What are they called? The Sea Wolves? They are an FCS opponent. Okay, because I see Richmond. That's the only way I'm going to know. So yeah, I'm picking Oregon in this one. In that game. Moving on. Biggest game of the week. The only top 25 matchup of the week. You have the Auburn Tigers traveling to University Park, Happy Valley, to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions. I've always been called them the Nifty Lions. No, they're called the Nittany Lions. Get that right. This one's gonna be tough to predict because Auburn's good. Auburn's really good. Auburn always has a solid team. And so does Penn State. We are not counting 2 years ago. Actually, no, we're not counting last season. Last season was a COVID year. Penn State's a 5.5-point favorite. Here's gonna be. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. My prediction is it's going to be the Nittany Lions taking it against Auburn. They are 3-1 in the whiteout games in the last 4 years. I think they go 4-1 in the last 5. Moving on down, you have the North Carolina Tar Heels hosting the Virginia Cavaliers. There's something wrong with North Carolina. I still see it. And just because I still see that falter, I'm going to predict Virginia gets the win on the road and North Carolina drops out of the top 25. I'm surprised they're not out of the top 25 now. Moving on down, the next opponent, you have Tulane traveling to Mississippi to take on Ole Miss. Excuse me. Tulane should be 2-0. Let me bluntly put that out there. Tulane should be 2-0. The only reason they're not is because of the is because they had their home game moved to Oklahoma, and Tulane did take it to Oklahoma. Let me put that out there. Tulane could have easily won that game if it was in Tulane, if it was in New Orleans. Unfortunately, the game did get moved to Oklahoma, which gave Oklahoma basically another home game. So, for that full reason, I'm going to pick Tulane in an upset. I'm calling it. Tulane surprised everyone in making that Oklahoma game close as hell. Let's look at that game really quick against Oklahoma. It was if Tulane scored one more touchdown, they win that game. And I honestly think they can turn around, go to Ole Miss, and take that win. Look at their win right after. 69 points. The kicker had to do it. He had to do it. 69 points over Morgan State. I had to make sure I get the team name right. I think Tulane is as good as everyone is going to say. I'm getting to that Iowa State game, by the way. I'm just moving it to later because that's the time it's going to be at. I honestly think Tulane goes into Ole Miss and gets the win. I'm calling it right here and there. The second top 25 matchup, I did say the Auburn Penn State one was the only one. I completely forgot about this one. Oh, I also could say Alabama, Florida, Auburn, Penn State, and then the third one, Arizona State and BYU. I'm taking Arizona State in this one. They're a pretty good team. I haven't seen anything wrong with them this year. I think Arizona State gets the win in this one. Now moving back up to the top here. The 1-1 Iowa State Cyclones travel to Vegas for the first time since. Let me take a look here. For the first time since 2008, and UNLV did get the win in that one. It was a field goal game. But yeah, Ames, Vegas, Ames, Vegas, Ames, Vegas. This will be the first. This will be UNLV's first true test to get a win. I actually let me correct myself on that one. They had two golden opportunities to get wins. They failed miserably. Look at this. Hosted Eastern Washington, an FCS opponent, and lost. Then they went to Arizona State and they got their asses kicked. So, I don't know. I think this is going to be a really tough opponent, especially you go from the 23rd ranked team on the road to hosting the number 14th ranked team in the nation. Iowa State's got this game easily. Got it easily. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If Iowa State does lose this game, I'm making a video saying what the hell's going on with the Iowa State offense and defense. Final game of the week. Fresno State goes to the Rose Bowl to take on the Bruins of UCLA. What the heck was that first game against LSU? Like, I watched that game and LSU barely showed up. It's like, I don't even know how to describe what I just watched. You know what I mean? I honestly think that UCLA is gonna be the team that runs the Pac-12 this year. You know what? I'm calling it now. UCLA Bruins, Pac-12 champions. Upset the Oregon Ducks. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. Week 3, I am calling it a massive upset. Oregon loses to UCLA. Do they even play each other this year? I am going to investigate. They do. And it's a oh it's a mid-season matchup too. Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be a really good fucking game. Pardon my language. I try hard not to swear on these games. Swear on these videos. These videos in particular. That's going to be a really good game. So yeah, those are my predictions for the week. What do you guys think? If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment if you want me to change things up a little bit. If there's anything new that you guys want me to try, go ahead and put those in the comment section below. And guys, it's the cyclone weather alert. Actually, no, wait a minute. They're not in AIM, so there isn't really a weather alert. But you guys know what I mean. Click that like, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment on how if I should how I should change up the content, because I know there's not a lot of viewership coming in. There's gonna be some more NHL content coming later. I just need to figure out the pre-order for it. As you see, I have Batman Telltale series. I'm gonna be doing that game for a playthrough once I get all the season, get the entire season 1 and season 2. I'm gonna be doing that, so keep an eye out for that. I may just do live streams for them though, because they're only gonna be an hour and a half live streams. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys later.